welcome back, one and all, to another episode of Tony Gets a Small Deep Dive into Call of Duty Zombies. Today, we're going to be covering Numa. It's been a minute since I've done the last one, however, there is a probably rational explanation as to why I haven't done it in a long time. Anyways, the keen-eyed among you might notice, Tony, you got Xbox inputs. What's up with that? Well, I would play this on PC the way I normally do with every other map. However, due to some unfortunate circumstances, there is one specific tab here for Numa, this character bios right here, that just doesn't exist on PC. I've tried Plutonium, I've tried regular, it literally, I can't find it. So I hooked up my Xbox and I was like, cop on World at War, just so I can get the authentic experience, because this is how I was introduced to this. Not through System Link here, but I remember booting up and wanting to check out the new map, and then I see here a character bios thing. I'm like, dude, this is so sick. Anyways, I'm gonna take a quick read through all these character bios so we can get to know our newly established crew. Because guess what? At this point, Numa, we now have a set crew of characters for the foreseeable future that we get to know and hear their nice and lovely voices. So we're gonna see what happens. Tank Dempsey, an American hero. Hand him a loaded weapon, a good woman, and something to shoot at, and he's happy. Enrage him, and he will rip your guts out and use them as a bandolier. Dempsey was selected for this mission after he showed his true grit at the battle for Peleliu. A remarkable though it may seem, his unit was captured during early raids before the main invasion, and he spent 2 weeks in a rat-infested bamboo cage, submerged in malarial water. Well, that did not stop the tank. After he gnawed his way through the cage, he then gnawed his way through his captors armed only with a bobby pin and his Medal of Honor, which he keeps secreted in various body cavities. Secreted. I don't fucking know. Now you know there is no war, there is no before the war for Dempsey, and there is no after. There is only the legend of Tank Dempsey, and how he will win the war for the rest of us. Nikolai Belinsky. Stalin himself cannot stare Nikolai in the eye. No one can. There, in his eyes, you will see the soul of a man burning with the hatred of all living things. His closet is full of skeletons, many of them with the flesh still attached. Early in his career, Nikolai had quickly made his way up through the party ranks by killing the next man in line, and by marrying politically. Ultimately, his aspirations all came crashing down after his 5th wife mysteriously died while cleaning his axe with her neck. Little did he know that she had been sleeping at a high-ranking party official on the side with a. This made Nikolai infamous, and his reputation spread quickly through the party. It was not long before Stalin himself had heard about Nikolai. More importantly, he feared Nikolai. As soon as the war started, our hero was dropped on the front lines and forgotten about, where he wallowed in self-pity and vodka for several years. There are many weapons in his arsenal, not least of which is his breath. Takeo Masaki, or Takeo. Enter Takeo, for whom life has no meaning if not to perfect your discipline and to reveal true character and honor. Perhaps he ponders this and other philosophical questions as his katana slices through his flesh and sinew of his enemy. Our hero was born into wealth. His family dynasty dates back several centuries, and throughout that time they have been highly decorated samurai and bushi. Well, Takeo is no exception to this celebrated bloodline. Even when the family first saw the young, life-filled 5-year-old Takeo playing in the street with his katana and slicing the tails off terrified kittens, it was obvious he was destined to bring honor to the Masaki name. Reserved and reflective, the war is a perfect opportunity for Takeo to explore his bloodlust and study the nature of those less honorable than himself. So if you fall victim to his swift action and might know that you have helped a man better than you reach enlightenment. And finally, Dr. Richtofen. Beware the doc. A message that was scrawled across the walls of every town under Axis control. Starvation may cripple you, dysentery may wreck you, and gunfire may rip the flesh from your bones. But beware the doc. This is Dr. Richtofen, known affectionately as the Butcher to his victims as they scream in agony moments before he snuffs out their light. All through his career, Richtofen has been at the forefront of torture and information extraction research. Richtofen is an incurable sociopath and sees no moral distinction between natural death and murder. The victim is the victim, regardless of how their demise manifests itself. Dr. Richtofen has a collection of stuffed animals, most of them posed in positions of terror at the instant of their death. So all of those do not exist on PC. However, as you can notice, we have met our lively crew of zombies, not zombies, but of our zombie killing machines with Dempsey, Takio, Richtofen, and Nikolai. Now I'm happy to introduce all of this to y'all. Starting first with their introduction, Shino Numa. A map, set place on a facility somewhere in Japan. There is more lore, however, technically we don't know that yet. Although what we do know is that there are 3 radios here at spawn that when interacted with do something a little, weird.
Is it just me or is it raining blood around here?
Give it a listen, shall we?
R-4808N 37 1406 115 48 40.
I hope you're receiving this transmission, Peter. If you are not, then all is already lost. You must know by now that we failed to contain the asylum, and that we had to move the experiment here. Location. The numbers will guide you. The giant must remain all costs. Repeat, Der Reese must remain safe at all costs. The DD2 experiments continue. Our only advantage now. Find Dr. Max's. They may know what's going on. The use of room 115 is dangerous at best. I'm not sure we can continue here. We've lost most of our best people. I hope you get this. I hope it hasn't happened there too. But I'm almost out of hope.
6054 06.96 101 55 44.94.
Real interesting stuff to start off with, if you ask me. Now, might be thinking, what the hell did we just hear? Well, quick little transcript, quick little summarization. I don't have a transcript of the exact words said. But essentially, you can hear mentions of a few things. One, his message seems to be addressed to a certain Peter. 2, the asylum facility has been lost. Might remember, last map is an insane asylum. 3, the mention of the giant, also known as Der Reese, must stay protected. And to reach out to a Dr. Maxis and a Dr. Richtofen, one of which is our main crew. And a mention of Element 115 and a DG2 project. Now, all of this stuff, nice and dandy. No, real cool. Interesting. They're starting to get world building going on in this map. I remember the first time listening to that. I'm gonna be real with y'all, alright? I'm gonna be 100%. The static that plays and the creepy voice listing off the numbers at the beginning always used to scare the shit out of me, because I did not know, what the hell was really going on. You feel me? Also on this map, we have a exclusive weapon, the Arisaka. Only exists on this map, by the way. I'm not even joking. The Arisaka only exists on Shino Numa. It is in no other zombies map ever again. This is a Japanese bolt-action rifle. If I'm to go off of the campaign, I'm not a weapons guy. I don't know necessarily But that's what it is. Anyways, as you might notice, mystery box directly down from spawn. There's some chalk with directions and stuff. Comm room for the communications room. Look up to see the light. This was the first time they had introduced a way. Well, we can't really tell right now. There's the first time they introduced a way on how to spot the mystery box location. Because if you remember, in Varuk, they made it so the mystery box could move. Now, if it moves, you can find it by just looking to the sky. A staple of the Zombies games ever since its inception here. It's great, it's awesome. I got no complaints on it. And you can see here is a warning sign. But overall, it's more so just speculation as to what we got right now. All we know is Treyarch is trying to build a story now. We have a new map pack, a new Zombies map, a set crew of characters that we will be playing as going forward, and we got radios that drop like pieces of lore and not just, you know, random tidbits of information, not just random things like, you know, music Easter eggs or whatnot. And we actually have characters that speak. Also, I don't know, I feel like I've neglected to mention it considering the fact that it's so ingrained in almost all the Zombies players' heads. However, Die Glock. I forget what that means, I'm gonna be real. I forgot to research that specific post-it note there because I kind of forgot it existed. Damn it. I mean, we could take a quick look around. As you can see here, it's a weird facility in the middle of Japan. Why is there English writing on the wall? Not sure. Weird medical tools and ammo crates and shit on the walls and whatnot. It's a real crazy place you wouldn't want to find yourself in. But yeah, I neglected to say, just because it's, you know, kind of becomes second nature for you to ignore these kinds of things. But our characters actually have a voice, and lucky us, we have managed to gain access to one of the best weapons in the entire game, or the best weapon in this entire game, 100%. That being, okay, interesting, the Wunderwaffe DG2. I will go over that weapon in just a moment.
Fucking boom, freak bags!
Fishing hut. Let's go over here, see what the hell we might see coming out this way. But yeah, there is lore obviously being set up here, and all we have right now is speculation. Real interesting stuff. I'm gonna be real with you. I think this map now, unfortunately, might be looked down upon as a sort of filler map, or, you know, part of the original 4 Zombies maps. It's nothing crazy, it's a little, you know, nothing insane is really going on here, is kind of what I'm getting at. You feel me? There's no pack-a-punch, at least not yet. Wow, I lost the Wunderwaffe. Instantly, I gotta kill myself. I think we have to activate these for the other radios to activate on the map. I don't think that's true, but I saw it somewhere, so I'm gonna just do it anyways. Let's go a different route this time, because there's actually one more box I wanted to show you guys here in this area. But overall, just wicked. I'm gonna be real. Not really sure like what's going on. There is obviously more hidden to this map than what Treyarch has let on initially. But that's up to us to uncover. I definitely feel like this map has fallen under the radar. I'm gonna be honest. Going back and playing all these classic Zombies maps, it doesn't make me have that feel of, oh, I miss the old days. I've mentioned it before in different videos, but I am a firm enjoyer of almost all Call of Duty Zombies. I like Black Ops 4, I like Cold War, I like Black Ops 6. Vanguard and MWZ we don't talk about. But, you know, here's what it is. But overall, dude, it was, I don't think this map is necessarily innovative in its scope, but it was definitely, I feel like it's not given enough credit for being the point when they decided to kind of make the big leap forward, dare I say. The great leap forward. To expand and add even more to this game than what was, I guess, really required of them. It's pretty well documented, pretty well known. A lot of Call of Duty Zombies sort of only exists because of a side thing developers at Treyarch wanted to do. And now they have decided they want to increase the scope
I ain't nobody's meat snack.
of the shit they're doing. And it led to this.
No ammo.
A quick little other thing. I don't know if you can see this hanging body here, but many individuals might remember or know if you were there along that time. We have a hanging body here, and his left arm is missing.
Shit up without ammo.
If you remember the last Zombies map, Verrückt, there was a left cut off, you know, amputated left arm holding on to the power switch to turn it on. Many people sort of correctly assumed / put together
Weapons out of juice.
these got to be related to some degree, right? And there were so many theories regarding who is this
One shot.
mysterious
one kill.
individual here that has landed. What's the deal with his left arm being missing and then there's one at the Verrückt facility? You know, what's really going on here? What lies beneath the surface that we are unaware of? As you can see, we have now moved across to this room, this warning room or whatever. And if you may notice, a certain 115 written on this box,
This thing's empty.
bearing
Need
reference
ammo.
to the radio we had just heard, mentioning something regarding 115. As of right now, we can only assume it's some sort of
Swallow your soul.
special item that has some
No guns,
overt
you
meaning.
Damn.
Not really sure what. I mean, it's got to mean something, right? It's been mentioned twice now, and they wouldn't just mention these one-off things for nothing, you know? Not only that, this is also the first map to have a different trap that wasn't just an electric trap. It had a flogger. What is a flogger? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. What I do know is that it's a giant rotating, like, you know, fucking death machine. Did anyone ever really use it? I'm gonna be honest, I never did. I mainly more so left that to people that wanted to risk dying. Me personally, I was a-okay staying off of that, you feel me? The doctor's quarters. You can see it from a distance, we can see it over there. And not only that, we also have the storage facility, which is a little bit harder to see. But this map was definitely way more expansive compared to the other Zombies maps. That is a 100% guarantee. You can see the comm room over there. Compared to Verrückt and definitely Nachterntoten, this map right here was expansive. It was crazy. Honestly, I want to say very innovative into how I feel Zombies has grown going forward. Might be thinking, Tony, how so? Well, we haven't had access to these future maps coming up, but this sort of set that precedent, that map design style of having a central location with branching off paths that all usually, you know, maybe don't interconnect, but they do lead back to that central location Most of the time, you'll be spending a lot of your time there.
Lead freak bag.
All right, just to name one map that comes to mind instantly that fits the perfect description is a certain Black Ops 4 map that goes by 9. However, we haven't gotten there yet, so I'm holding my tongue on the rest of the shit going down with that map.
Die!
But for the most part, central location that branches out seems to be Treyarch's kind of go-to map design. If they're making something they're not really sure how to maybe not really sure, but you know, they're making something. Let's take a peek at the doctor's quarters, shall we? As you can see, there was a little sign there. There is a zip line that does exist. Oh, and we have managed to make it
No match for the U.S. Marines.
to round 5. This is my favorite introduction in all of Call of Duty Zombies. And I mean that wholeheartedly, no joke. The introduction of your max ammo round, or as we would call it here, a dog round. Might be thinking,
Yeah, that's
my
right.
first time ever seeing an animal. That is correct. This is the introduction of the Hellhounds in Call of Duty Zombies. Treyarch decided there would be a, what's the word I'm thinking of? Every couple of rounds going forward into, most future maps, since all drops, power-up drops are randomized pretty much, what better way to ensure there's at least some survivability than to reward or punish the player, I guess on how you see it, with a round containing exclusive enemies that at the end of it gives you a maximum ammunition reward. For the sake of making it through this special round, your reward is you get to live longer with more ammunition. It is in my opinion,
Turn him into red mist.
staple of the Call of Duty Zombies series that started also here on Numa. The first map to have a moving mystery box with a light. Oddly, if you hadn't noticed, the first map to have a randomized perk system, each branching out path, each facility that we go to here
My favorite kind.
has a random perk. And we will just have to get lucky and hope we get the perk that we want to purchase. We're over here to the doctor's hut, I believe I'm correct. No, this is the storage facility. So we come in and we are greeted with a random perk. Hopefully it's something good. Double tap. Not too shabby. However, I feel like Juggernog would be
Lead to the
a bit
head,
better
baby.
for my current situation. Will we be lucky enough to get it next, or will we have to wait for our last hut in order to gain better survivability? We shall see/find out. But I think it's a really cool, in a weird way, I feel like this term is overused a lot, but in a weird way, a kind of roguelike system, sort of, to the game. Where each time you go to a different path, you're not guaranteed the same outcome of perks and whatnot. Let's see here. Hopefully we can get Juggernog. Yes, we do. So I believe we should camp out here, see if we can't get some points. Now this map is a very interesting one. Honestly, look at the decor. Look at what's going on. What story does this map really tell? I feel like definitely at this point, Treyarch was going more story-based. Not only just through introducing these small subtleties, like these radios that you have no interaction prompt, by the way, you would not think to interact with at all. However,
Look at that mess I just made.
give it a bit, and all of a sudden you see, hey, there's kind of something here. You know what I mean? interact with things and you kind of realize
I wish I could meet the chick.
there's some things they're not necessarily keeping hidden because they do exist out in the open, but they're not, you know, I guess you could say because they're hiding the button prompts. Interactables that, how would we know they're interactable? You hear this beeping from this phone? Interact with it once. Interact with it twice. Interact with it 3 times. I know you're sleeping.
What? Are they gonna put a music Easter egg in every map now?
And that is our music Easter egg for this map, as Dempsey, the prominent fourth wall breaker of the crew, has just mentioned.
Hey, freak sack! You lose something?
And I might just... The song choice here, Elena Siegman and Kevin Sherwood have done phenomenal.
Did you see that?
That's all I gotta say. I genuinely, 9 times out of 10, cannot help myself from just singing along. Let's just let it play.
Hey, freak bag! You ain't that good! I'm gonna rip some shit up with this.
Such a good song, dude. I feel like, you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Oh, those don't sound like freak bags. Slide and ride! Sweet! Screw you! Just hit next week! Not your sea rations! Do that again, I'll bite you back, freak sack!
Double points!
Hell yeah! Fucking crap sack. No luck. bear. Get your hands off me, bag brain! It's time to die, freak meats!
Such a good song, man. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Usually, I would care about a sort of DMCA strike or whatever if they want to take the revenue. One, this video doesn't make any money. Two, if it somehow did in the future, I really don't care.
Sorry, zombie.
Because I'd rather you guys just listen to that hit how it was. It's phenomenal. It's a great song. I love all these zombie songs. Also, funny thing, I don't know if you realized, for some reason, don't know why, there does not seem to exist a payment prompt. Another radio. Element 115. It's kind of hard to hear. My bad, I had to run away.
Fucking boom, freak bags!
Behind Dr. Richtofen. Let's not die before we hear the rest. However, find Dr. Richtofen, Element 115. We're now hearing that this 115 thing isn't some sort of object or whatever. It's a whole element on the periodic tables and whatnot. You know, you learned this in school or something. There it is. Our box has moved, as you can see. Look to the sky for the light, and the light shall provide a location. Let's go peep it, see if we can't get a decent weapon. Perhaps something a bit more fitting than this double-barreled shotgun that is sawed off. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. I'm not grabbing that. Instead, I will grab the, one of my favorite weapons in the entirety of Call of Duty Zombies. The Type 100. Absolutely love this weapon.
Die!
But take a gander. Double tap root beer. Press and hold to buy. No price. I'm gonna assume, usually I'm not one for assumptions, but I'm going to assume it's because they couldn't program it randomly selecting an item while also providing the price. I don't know. I could be wrong. And as you can see where we are, by this storage facility here, there's a giant rock with a weird aura around it. It's also making this whining sound. Not really sure what the deal with that is. Very interesting stuff, if you ask me. You know, it just kind of makes you wonder what's going on here. What has happened? Element 115, Dr. Richtofen, this entire facility is being overrun by zombies, and there's now this giant meteor that's crash landed here. We have no reason for expecting what it is.
I wonder if that rock brought those freak bags.
I wonder if that rock brought those freak bags. This is when the sort of story is actually starting to kind of build together itself. Now, what can we assume with the knowledge we know? Element 115 exists. It is being used in conjunction with some facility, the Die-Rise or Der-Rise / the Giant. And Dr. Maxis and Dr. Richtofen might know a bit more, considering we're supposed to reach out to them, as according to that little intro at the beginning there. And that maybe this Element 115 is the cause for these weird zombie infestation / outbreaks happening. You know what I mean? Real interesting stuff, if you ask me. I definitely, as a young child, was glued to the goddamn screen, wondering what the hell is going on. I wasn't one much for speculation myself, but I'll be damned if I didn't watch so many speculation / weird videos on what's happening. Things are quite interesting, you know? What's going on here? This radio doesn't work, by the way. I completely forgot to mention that. Yeah, the radio just doesn't work. And now interacting with this random book in a bookcase here. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of playing as such a gracious character voiced by the one and only Nolan North. However, that was Dr. Richtofen's laugh. What could that possibly mean? We're not entirely sure. We can only sort of piece together random assumptions that we may have that might not even
Soda!
be real. You understand? Things are really weird, you know? Things are really, really weird, and something is obviously going down. We're not entirely sure what, who's involved, and what freaky shit might be going on, but one thing we can for surely say is something's happening. Something is building, dare I say. You know what I mean? Something is building. Ask and ye shall receive also.
What the hell is a Wonder Waffle?
Now, unfortunately, we don't know the lore behind this weapon yet. However, what we do know is that this is a Wunderwaffe DG2. As mentioned in the radio at the beginning, something regarding the DG2 project. And talking about this weapon doesn't do it justice. You know what I mean? I can say all the BS I want. I can keep yapping about stuff. However, take a gander.
How freaking sweet is that?
So, and the sound design is just phenomenal on this weapon. It's a freaking weapon that shoots lightning, bro. All right, this thing, well, not necessarily lightning, but it shoots electricity. This is a weapon that shoots electricity and is just overall kind of like, what the fuck is going on? This weapon is sick as hell. You know what I mean? It's really fucking cool if you ask me. Truth be told. Might be thinking, Tony, why are you standing still? It's because there is one more specific key event thing here that I'm trying to figure out where exactly it is. Where does it exist? Hold on. Oh, I understand what they want me to do. I see. Nope, not good enough. Now, I believe if we have a weapon scope, we should be able to look out and see a certain thing written in a hut out here somewhere. However, unfortunately, we don't have a weapon with a scope. But if you can see TUNG, It's pretty hard to tell, but there's something written there. And if we see here, Tunguska. Now, you might be thinking, Tony, what the hell does Tunguska have to do with anything? What does it even mean? Now, I'll read you a little excerpt. All right, I'm going to read you. Forgive me for pausing, by the way. All right, I'm just going to read y'all a small excerpt or whatever regarding this Tunguska event / whatever it is. Was a massive explosion that had occurred on June 30th, 1908 in a remote area of Siberia, Russia. Happened 7:13 a.m. near the Tunguska River, which is why it's even called that. Not really much going on with it, more so it was an event that happened where a meteor seemed to have crashed into a place in Siberia. And might be thinking, meteor that crashed, what have we here other than a giant meteor that has crashed into this remote location here in Japan?
Machine, just like
Seemingly implying that the Tunguska event and this meteor may or may not be connected. Whether on some level that may be true, we're not entirely sure. We can only speculate so far. But all I have to say is, things are looking a bit interesting. There really is a world starting to be crafted here. And this is just the beginning of what is, as of now, looking back on it, a very large and expansive world that I am very happy and glad to be a part of. But also, just insane to see it grow this long.
Four-legged freak sacks.
We have a dog
Just
round,
more
so
shit
let's
to
go get our
blow.
max ammo. And when we get our max ammo, I have an interesting fact to tell y'all. So, with the introduction of this new wonder weapon, you might be wondering, it shoots electricity. What's the dealio? What's going on? This weapon shoots infinite damage electricity bolts. And it has the capability to chain up to 10 zombies in one bolt. That's what stops it from being entirely broken and overpowered, is that it only really has a limit of killing 10 zombies in one shot. And it carries 18 with max capacity.
How freaking sweet is that?
Pretty cool.
This is gonna jack those freak bags
However,
up.
you might think that's kind of slow. With more and more rounds passing, you would assume this weapon would become really bad. How can 18 shots killing only 10 zombies each last me up until
Maggot sack.
how can it's only 180 zombie kills? How can that last me anywhere remotely good in terms of shooting for high rounds or such? Well, unfortunately, I'm not able to show you this aspect.
Freak bags.
You're just gonna have to take my word, or if you want to do some visual counting of your own. This is the final zombies map that has a 24 zombie round limit. And I don't know if you've realized, as we're starting to reach into round 15, round 16, these rounds are kind of passing a little quick, surprisingly. You would think they would last a lot longer. However, only 24 zombies exist on one round of zombies. Now, I did fucking go down because I'm a dumbass. However, you're just gonna have to take my word for it at this point. Round 16, 244 kills. I'm not even joking. Go to round 16 on Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Darius even, because that map doesn't have the limit. and you will get over 244 kills. Only 244 is quite interesting. You know, very interesting if you ask me. And that is because only 24 zombies spawning around, which you might be thinking, that makes it pretty easy for high rounds, right? Now, it literally takes 3 Wonder Waff shots. It takes an entire mag of the Wonder Waff to beat a round. And roughly every 4 or 5 rounds, a dog round happens, which we get a max ammo. This weird combination of having a low zombie count and a very, you know, powerful wonder weapon that only needs 3 bullets a round, and a, you know, exclusive round with exclusive enemies that gives you a max ammo every, you know, 4 or 5 rounds, might be thinking that's surely a recipe for something insane, no? And you would be 1000% correct, my friend. Unfortunately, there goes our time for the recording. However, the highest round achieved on Numa World at War is round 11,843. The only map that is allowed to reach such a high round because of the fact that it passes so fast. And because it passes so fast, correct me if I'm wrong, any high round heads out there, I only dabble in it, not much as you can tell. But because rounds pass so fast, you can get all the way through to round 11,000 without hitting the reset point. As far as I am aware, I'm not gonna try and go into the uniqueness of it all and, you know, the technical know-how because I'm not familiar with it. But high rounds players usually go up until the game literally forces them to restart due to some sort of integer overflow BS. Because this is a 32-bit game, you know? Now, where does the breaking point necessarily happen? It happens usually for some of these maps, like around 100+ hours in. I don't know what this map's thing is, what its reset point is, or when it's like black screen crash point is, because there is also that as well. You can error while going for high rounds due to some sort of like entity, you know, too many entities or whatever. I forget, it's just a specific asset thing. I'm not exactly familiar. And I'm definitely, like I said, not the guy that has the know-how to be explaining all of this. I'm going off of the, not bare bones, because I mean, I've played a lot of zombies and I've watched a lot of zombies content.
You're gonna eat lead
But I'm
and
just
die.
trying to remember what I remember hearing. I'm trying to remember what I last heard from whenever the last high round zombie video I watched was. Most likely, a funny one or something. Anyways. That about wraps it up, I believe, for Numa. And of course, it wouldn't be a small dive into, at least for these older maps, if I didn't show you guys some last cool little bits of the game. Let's just see what goes on. Alright, my apologies for the little break. I'm gonna be real. I was initially going to record this section to show you guys, back on Plutonium by the way, initially show you guys how the map Knee Deep was apparently the inspiration, or at least a lot of reused assets from Numa came from this map Knee Deep. However, I'm going to be honest, upon inspecting further, it just doesn't seem like that's true. I wanted to state this when we went through the initial Honestly, the only part that looks like it could be reused is like this sort of section right here, and even then that's like we're stretching it, bro. You know, this is a stretch in my opinion. I mean, just look at it, dog. I feel like it's thematically sort of very similar, being a Japanese, you know, facility thing and whatnot. But I'm gonna be honest, I believe the person who I initially saw this statement from and I decided to take a closer look, I think they just might be wrong. However, is what it is. You know how it be. Yeah, looking around here, it definitely does not seem like it fits the bill. However, wherever I may be, it doesn't really matter, because the map still looks phenomenal otherwise, truth be told. I mean, just take one last gander at it now that I'm on PC. I mean, come on. You can't tell me this doesn't look so much better. And also, like I said, I can kind of see the thematic like relation, but I feel like there are too many things separating it for me to just truthfully state that this is its own. You know, this is a sort of reused asset flip of Knee Deep, the way Asylum and Airfield were for Verrückt and Knock respectively. However, that being said, it does also leave me with the ability to say this one more cool fact. Once again, I think this map is very innovative. Innovated a lot in terms of adding a new wonder weapon, started branching a story onto, you know, the things we have. We're getting established characters in our game that we can follow along with, as well as having a cool random perk system, and just having dog rounds, just sort of laying the foundation for a lot of what I feel CoD Zombies thrives on. So with saying all that, I'm pretty sure I can confidently say, at least for the most part, that Shi no Numa is like the first pretty fucking original Nazi Zombies map. I can't even say Nazi Zombies because these aren't Nazis. They're Japanese soldiers that have been turned into zombies by Element 115. At least that's the implication. Let me show you another cool thing. You see these zombies? The way they move? They're like martial arts stanced up. Exclusive only to Shi no Numa.
I need to get some slugs.
I think it's really fucking cool.
Fucking boom, freak bags.
All I gotta say is, man, I think this map laid the groundwork for a lot, and I mean a lot, of what makes CoD Zombies really good now. And I feel like it's sort of brushed over almost all the time, 9 times out of 10. I feel like this map is very brushed over as like a just kind of overall not really that good map, or just boring and such. If you want to talk about boring, let's play Knocked. And I'm gonna be honest, I think by no means is this map bad. I think it's very well made, well designed, intentionally made as well. It might, as dumb as that might be, as like a not a criticism, but as like a praise. But like I said, I'm 99% sure most of this map is reused assets from, you know, either the campaign or some maps. However, the layout, the exclusive wonder weapon, dog rounds, the hellhounds, all lies on a good foundation of originality that I can respect the hell out of. Anyways, I think that about wraps it up here. Want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, I greatly appreciate it. All I gotta say is have a good day, and or good night, depending on the time you're viewing this. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.